This is not just a video. This is your own story. You are a child of Adam, and this channel exists so you can understand how your journey began with Adam and how it reached you today. If this story belongs to you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon so you never miss the truth of your own origins. The Holy Bible speaks of righteous lineages chosen by God to preserve truth among mankind. The Holy Torah records generations selected to carry divine law and moral responsibility. The Holy Quran declares clearly that God chose some descendants of Adam over others for guidance and leadership, not by blood alone, but by obedience and righteousness. From the very first family of humanity, selection began. Adam watched his children grow, not only in number but in nature. Some hearts bent naturally toward humility, while others leaned toward desire and pride. Adam realized early that equality in creation did not mean equality in responsibility. Among his children were individuals whose souls carried weight, individuals whose choices would shape generations yet unborn. These were not kings. They were not rulers. They were the ones who listened when others argued. The chosen among Adam's children were different in silence, different in fear of wrongdoing, different in the way they questioned themselves before questioning others. They felt guilt quickly. They repented sincerely. They obeyed even when obedience brought loss instead of gain. Adam understood a terrifying truth that humanity would learn again and again through history. Being chosen was not a reward. It was a burden placed on the shoulders of those strong enough to carry it. The scriptures reveal that divine selection was never about strength or beauty. It was about surrender. Those chosen were the ones willing to restrain their desires when no one was watching. They refused shortcuts even when success seemed guaranteed. They feared accountability more than hunger, power, or dominance. This difference created distance among siblings. Some children of Adam began to notice that heaven responded differently to certain hearts. Acceptance from above created jealousy below. Quiet obedience angered those who sought control. And slowly, silently, the first fracture appeared within the first family of humanity. Adam warned them with the pain of a father who could already see the future. He told them that light attracts darkness and that those who carry truth will always be tested more severely than those who reject it. He told them that being chosen means being watched not only by people but by heaven itself. The chosen ones felt that weight. They were corrected faster, tested harder, and held to standards others were never asked to meet. Their mistakes echoed louder. Their repentance had to be deeper. Their patience had to be longer. And yet, they accepted it. Because something inside them understood that their lives were not their own. They were living examples for a humanity that had not yet been born. Adam looked at his children and saw the future of the world divided not by race or language, but by obedience and rebellion. He knew that from among his descendants would rise people who protected morality when it became unpopular, who spoke truth when silence was safer, and who carried divine responsibility without wearing crowns. And he also knew that many would hate them for it. The story of the chosen among Adam's children is not ancient history. It is a pattern that continues in every generation. And the question Adam's story leaves behind is unsettling. If selection was based on obedience, truth, and sacrifice, then what does that say about you? As the children of Adam spread across the earth, the weight of divine selection became heavier. Distance did not erase difference. Time did not soften it. In every gathering, the same pattern appeared. Some hearts remained restless, chasing recognition and dominance. Others remained cautious, fearful of crossing moral lines even when no one was there to witness them. The chosen ones among Adam's children were never free from struggle. Their lives were marked by restraint. When anger felt justified, they held back. When revenge felt deserved, they forgave. When shortcuts promised ease, they refused. This refusal made them look weak in the eyes of many, but strong in the sight of heaven. The scriptures hint at a painful reality. Those chosen were often isolated. They were misunderstood by their own siblings. Their intentions were questioned. Their silence was mocked. Their patience was tested again and again until patience itself felt like punishment. Adam saw something that terrified him. The chosen were not protected from harm. In fact, they were often placed directly in the path of it. The Holy Quran teaches that guidance brings trial. The Bible reflects that righteousness invites opposition. The Torah records that moral responsibility draws resentment. This was not coincidence. It was design. The chosen among Adam's children were meant to become mirrors. Through them, others would see their own corruption or their own potential. And many did not like what they saw. Some descendants began to measure worth by numbers, land, and influence. Others measured worth by conscience. This difference created tension that no father could fully heal. Adam could advise, warn, and plead, but he could not choose for them. There were moments when Adam watched one of the chosen retreat into solitude, burdened by questions no one else seemed to ask. Questions about justice, about accountability, about whether power without morality was worth anything at all. These questions were the mark of selection. The unchosen, or rather those who rejected responsibility, mocked such concerns. They laughed at restraint. They celebrated dominance. They believed success justified every action. And slowly, they began to resent those whose lives silently exposed their own moral emptiness. Adam spoke to his children about accountability beyond death. He reminded them that life was not ending at the grave, and that the chosen were not chosen for comfort in this world but for testimony in the next. Some listened, others turned away. The pain of being chosen was not always visible. It showed itself in sleepless nights, in quiet regret over small mistakes, in fear of standing before God with excuses instead of honesty. The chosen carried this fear not as weakness, but as guidance. Generations later, humanity would call these traits nobility, righteousness, or piety. But at the beginning, they were simply obedience in a world learning how to disobey. Adam began to understand that selection was not permanent by blood. It could be lost. A chosen heart that surrendered to arrogance would fall lower than a heart that was never chosen at all. This truth haunted him. It meant that legacy alone could not save anyone. The chosen were required to choose again, every single day. And this is where the story becomes uncomfortable. Because Adam realized that every generation would contain those same two paths. One of restraint, one of rebellion, one of conscience, one of desire, and humanity would always admire the wrong path first. The chosen would be lonely. They would be tested. They would be blamed. But through them, truth would survive. Adam watched the sun set on his growing descendants, knowing that long after he was gone, the same struggle would repeat itself in every child born of his lineage. And the most frightening part was this. The chosen would never know for certain that they were chosen. They would only know that their conscience would not let them rest. Adam gathered his children one final time, not to judge, but to warn. The weight of divine selection had become clear. Some children understood obedience, sacrifice, and truth, others still chased desire, influence, and recognition. Adam spoke slowly, each word carrying the authority of one who had seen both heaven and the depth of human hearts. Being chosen is not a gift, he said. It is a burden heavier than gold, heavier than power, heavier than life itself. You will be tested, watched, and misunderstood. The world will envy you, fear you, or try to destroy you. But the truth you carry is worth more than all the kingdoms you could ever rule. The chosen listened. Their hearts understood what others could not. The unchosen ignored. Their eyes sought immediate reward instead of lasting purpose. And yet, Adam knew that the unchosen were part of the same story. Without their rebellion, the chosen could never prove their obedience. Without their envy, the chosen could never shine. History would remember the chosen in fragments. Some would become prophets, some moral guides, some silent witnesses. But every generation would carry this truth. Divine selection is not marked by crowns, lands, or praise. It is marked by conscience, by integrity, and by the courage to walk alone if necessary. Adam saw in the eyes of his children what no one else could, the pattern that would repeat endlessly. The chosen would always appear, and with them, opposition. They would be tested, corrected, isolated, and sometimes even rejected by those they loved most. Yet through them, humanity would survive the corruption of desire and the temptation of immediate gain. The Bible speaks of righteous lineage carrying truth. The Torah records generations set apart to teach and guide. The Quran declares that obedience, righteousness, and submission to God determine selection, not blood alone. Adam's story is the beginning of that truth, a truth that lives in every chosen heart even now. And here is the most profound realization: you may be among the chosen today. Not because of who your parents are, not because of status or wealth, but because your conscience refuses to ignore wrong, because you act with integrity when no one is watching, because you endure trials that others flee from. Adam warned his children one last time: to be chosen is to carry responsibility. To fail is not merely to fall personally, but to weaken the example of truth for generations to come. And to succeed is not to be celebrated by the world, but to be aligned with destiny itself. The journey of the chosen among Adam's children continues in every heart that chooses morality over ease, truth over falsehood, patience over indulgence. The story of divine selection is ongoing, unfolding with each generation, each decision, and each life that struggles to remain faithful. This is your story as a child of Adam. Your journey is connected to theirs. If you embrace the truth of being chosen, it is not a burden, it is your path to purpose. And if you fail, remember, the lesson is in the struggle, not just the outcome. The first family of humanity may be gone, but their legacy of chosen hearts endures. You are part of that lineage, and the path continues in you. Follow it, understand it, honor it, and remember the words of Adam: being chosen is never easy, but it is always meaningful. This is your channel, this is your story, and this is the journey from Adam to the present. If you want to continue walking this path, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon to stay connected to your own history.